What's going on, San Antonio? What is going on, South Texas? My name is Mike Jimenez, and this is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from San Antonio, Texas. We are back in studio, baby. Joe Garcia, back. What's going on, my man?
Nothing, man. I'm still, dealing with my Disney hangover. Went with the family, to Disney World. We're in Florida.
Yeah.
We went to like 3 of the parks, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom. We went to Epcot for New Year's Eve, to take into, the festivities that they had over there. I got to tell you, man, I was eating mean. I burned everything I ate off. I lost weight on this trip, and I logged over 30 miles.
Wow.
Walking. We averaged at least 10 miles a day walking. Hey, man, I'm not going to lie. I'm a big guy, right?
Yeah.
I pushed myself, dude. I did not sit down. I walked. And you know what? If I can do it, anybody can. But you know what? That has me feeling great. And that means that I'm going to keep this up. I'm going to keep on being active. I'm going to keep on losing weight.
Okay, so the Map My Walk app, download that on your phone, and they have a challenge for 500 miles in 1 year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, basically that's a mile and a half a day.
Jeez, dude.
Okay? That's about a 30-minute walk per day or an hour every other day. I did a little over 3 miles on the first, and I'll get back at it today. I refereed a couple of games yesterday, and it was refereed a Holmes High School game. It was the Huskies.
Hey man, I saw people complaining about that too.
Oh, it's
called the technical foul.
Oh yeah, complete nonsense. But I am at the lowest weight that I've been in 18 months. I've been refereeing about 4 to 6 games per week. So I'm not going to say it's a resolution, but I'm just going to get going. We have some people saying that the sound is a little bit odd.
Yeah, hold on, man. I think I got a little hiccup here, so hold on.
All right. But just to keep the show going, though. Oh, hello.
We're coming back. Hold on.
All right. For those of you following us on our YouTube stream, by the way, do we sound better now? Because I sound better in my ear.
Well, we're gonna see, man. We got gremlins in the mix here today, coming back in from,
vacation.
Call it what it is. Yeah. So we're experiencing some technical problems here, but let's see if I can fix everything. So give me a sec. Just keep going.
All right. But I got to tell you what, man, the setup over here, ridiculous. Okay. Because I'm used to things looking a certain way when I come out here and do the show. Typically I have a camera up front, have my laptop out, and you're like, no, Jimenez, we are in the future now.
We're back now. The audio's fixed.
You have 2 monitors up here that I can see, a new camera up here. I can now, surf the web and do what I need to do during the show. We can take a look over here at all the chats that are coming in, people coming in. Charlie Hernandez, Mario Cavazos, Matt Lerma saying that everything sounds better. David reaching out to us saying that things sound better. But congratulations to you for the weight loss over the Christmas break. As you said, you walked 30 miles.
30 plus miles, dude. It was bad.
Dude, Disney World is no joke, man. That is the biggest park I have ever been to in my entire life.
It tests you, man. It's made to be painful.
Yeah.
Everything tests you, dude. You want to sit down, but you can't. Because if you do, you're done.
Yeah.
You got to keep walking.
Animal Kingdom's so fun.
It is a lot of fun. Hey, man, I got on that dinosaur ride again. That thing was awesome, man.
And Epcot, Epcot's cool if you like to eat and drink.
Oh, that's my thing. That's my jam.
You go to the German town, the Mexican town. You go to
I had some drinks.
Chinese town. Yeah,
I had some drinks.
It wasn't bad. I've been refereeing my ass off, dude. I have been. I've been out and about, hitting the gym. I started the New Year's resolution off a little bit earlier this year. I started probably in early December, but it's going good, dude. It's going good. Bonsa's still there, but I'm never going to be skinny. That's not the thing. I'm working out because I want to eat tortillas from time to time. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, there's such a thing as being fat healthy, bro.
Oh, I know. Skinny fat and fat skinny, man. It is a thing. It is a thing. We have a lot to get into today. We have a special guest. Carolina Teague will be on at 10:45. And, CT's my girl, man. I mean, we go way back. We've been doing sports talk together for quite some time. And I talked with her last night. And I gave her crap, man. I gave her crap because I said, CT, you have a sister? You have a sister. And you never told me.
She does have sisters.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So I was looking at her Instagram posts, and it was like my sister. And when she said my sister, I thought
A friend.
friend, like sister from another mister type of,
Yeah.
we're former coworkers or whatnot. But no, I was like, oh, that's the CT look right there. There's a second one out there somewhere in San Antonio, Texas. So I'm going to give her crap about that. But we'll have Carolina T talking about lots of things. The Spurs, Victor Wembanyama, checked himself in yesterday. Okay.
He told Pop, I'm the captain now.
Exactly. Exactly. He told his medical staff to go F themselves. He went back into the game yesterday. So we'll get into that. Spurs have lost so many games in a row, now with a record of 5-28.
Dude, this team is just that bad, man. I'm being honest, man. Spurs fans see it. They know it. This is the pinnacle of what this team, this core can actually do. And it's sad to see,
and
man.
Pop is not going to turn the ship around, dude.
Dude.
Pop turns 75 this month. He's not going to turn the ship around.
They're tanking, dude.
We're going to get into that. No, I don't even think they're tanking. I just think that I think Pop lost the locker room.
No, it's when the Spurs don't often tank, but when they do, it turns into a number one pick.
No,
maybe lightning can strike twice.
This seems a little bit different, man. Well, let's get into the draft in a little bit and what some of the things that could go on with the Spurs. We're going to get into the Dallas Cowboys. They are the 2 seed as of right now because they got that nice Christmas gift, that gift wrap game from the officials against the Detroit Lions. We'll find out from Joe Garcia whether or not he finally believes in the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, hell damn no.
And for those of you who are like, haha, we're going to be the 2 seed because we play the Washington Commanders this weekend and they suck, check the forecast. Check the forecast. We'll get into that as well. Jimmy Kimmel, Aaron Rodgers. Who do you got this beef battle?
Man, that's a good one.
The Jeffrey Epstein list. Our girl, Christina Aguilera.
Hey, there's rumors that say that you made the list.
I saw those rumors. I can neither confirm
Hey, man,
nor
shout out to
deny.
our boy Swiss over here, the man, myth, legend.
Yeah.
He's always on point with the memes, and he had a good one for you, dude.
Which one was that one?
Oh, I don't know if I could show it on air, but it was pretty good. I'll share it with you.
Is it new? Is it from today?
That's from Kanye. You know Kanye taking pictures of his wife?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were Kanye. They put you on Kanye's
it's so
face.
funny because about like half the things that people will tag me on, I don't even pay attention to because I'm working or I'm working out or I'm refereeing. And I come home and I see like 85 notifications. And half the time I'm just like, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm just going to go to bed. Again, Carolina Teague at 10:45 will be with us. Pop culture, our girl Christina Aguilera, the genie in the bottle.
No, I think the genie came out already, dude. Genie came back.
Homegirl has lost a lot of weight, dude.
She looking good.
Kelly Clarkson lost a lot of weight too. We need to get into that,
too, man.
Yeah.
She looks good. Look at that.
I've always had a thing for Kelly Clarkson.
Daniel Castro. He's on the
He's
list.
on the list.
They're talking about you. You made the list.
Very, very cool. Hanover Fish reaches out and says, "What's happening, Alamo crew? Good to see you all."
Yeah, it's good to be back, man. It's been a long time, man.
And what's up with Matt Larimer reaching out to us? By the way, we're available on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube to the Alamo City Podcast Network. Saying new showtime, same old takes. Well, you know what? It'd be nice if the Spurs won a freaking game. It'd be nice. Lots to get into.
Matt's
today.
too positive, man. He's always, the Spurs are so good. The Spurs are, well, you got to see in the bright side of things. No, brother.
In Pop we trust.
They're bad. They're just bad.
In Pop we trust. Can you imagine if the Spurs don't get any of the first round draft picks other than their own this year?
Oh, man.
I mean, it's one of those things where we came into this year thinking to ourselves, there's a possibility of getting 3 first round draft picks because of trades that were pulled off before the season.
Yeah.
And because they were protected picks, we might only have 1. We might only have 1.
That's what happens when you gamble.
It's a coin flip as to whether or not the Spurs are going to be in the top 4, no matter how bad they are.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But let's go ahead and get into it. First of all, again, congratulations on your run. By the way, changes being done. Rumor has it we'll be doing this more often.
Yeah, because might bring back an old favorite.
Tell me more.
Yeah, we might bring back an old favorite. We might be bringing back here the MJ Acquired Taste show on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. Is that going to be at my house, or am I going to just kind of come on over here? Because you live 5 minutes from me, dude. So I mean, I can just mosey on over.
That's up to you, bro. Whatever you want to do.
We'll figure that out. But we want to be a little bit more consistent with this, and we want to be a little bit more. I don't want to say professional. It's just a lot of crap happened to me last year, personally.
Yeah,
and it kind of just made life miserable for me. And I'm back.
Yeah,
you know, I am back, and we could do this show the way that we originally intended, which is a daily podcast, sports and pop culture and all sorts of things like that. Old movie reviews, bad music. We're bringing
it all back. We're bringing it all back.
We're going to bring it all back. We're going to need sponsors, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want a sponsor, reach out to us. You can DM us or reach out to us on Twitter. I'm at MJ Acquire Taste. Joe is at Two Shots Podcast. We'll go ahead and get that going.
And Brandon Medina is at Big Boppy Brandon Medina. You got to look him up on Twitter.
Brandon Medina, the Fantasy Gods wrapped up. Fantastic show. Thank you to Mad Pecker Brewery for sponsoring that, along with Mudslingers. They did a fantastic job with us.
Hey, I've been talking with the owner from Mad Pecker. We might have a new brew coming out that's Wemby inspired, and it's not at the normal stuff that everybody's thinking.
Yeah,
we got a special name for it, man. We're working on some things.
Very nice, dude. I like Mad Pecker.
Oh yeah, man. The owner's awesome, dude.
It's a good place.
It's a good place.
Chris Leha and I almost did a race over there, but I'd already had 5 beers, man. So I've been challenging him to a race.
I don't know, man. Somebody's gonna pull something.
Who
do
you think is gonna win that race? Let's say that we race.
Man,
we raced a quarter mile. Who's gonna win, me or Chris? Chris is 15 years younger than me.
He should win.
I think gonna win this race?
I put my money on my boy Leha, dude.
Dude, I will so outrun him. Dude, I'm chasing after a freaking 17, 18-year-old 6A basketball players, dude. And I get to my spots every single time.
I think, man, I don't know, bro. I think you're going to pull something, man. You might come up lame halfway like Kevin Hart.
Dale Castro says Carnitas will lose to Leha. Got a new nickname already.
Carnitas. Carnitas.
You know what? Dude, go to a game. See how fast I run.
I'm so confident, man. I'll put a case of beer on my boy Leha, dude.
How fast of a run do you think? Like
dude,
how long
you can't. Come on, man. We can't be going like 50 yards or nothing like that. Come
on, dude. Go to my basketball games. Okay, go to my games, and I'm a big dude, but I run my ass off in a lot of those games, especially if it's like a 6A boys game.
Yeah,
dude. I did a JV game the other day, and JV was just 2 officials. It was Harlan against Sotomayor. Man, those guys can run up and down the court. Those weren't even the varsity guys. But my goodness, I would say that I ran that game at least 3 miles.
Wow.
At least 3 miles. It was a great game. All right, let's get into some sports. Again, if you want to follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, and we're also going to be available later on today wherever you get your podcast. Okay, Spotify, Apple Play, all of that stuff, iHeart app.
Yeah. Oh, and shout out to Jesus Rivera, dude. He says you're welcome for the new nickname, Carnitas.
I like it because it's fucking delicious. Oh, God. He called me delicious. What more do you want?
You always got to make shit weird, bro.
I mean, when I hit carnitas, I lick my lips.
Oh, shit, man. Damn,
am I wrong?
My God, bro. You're just like giving the world just gold, man. You know they're going to roast your ass now.
Call me carnitas. Dale Castro Jimenez is not effing delicious.
No. Favorless carnitas. You can't call a grown man.
Down.
You can't call a grown man delicious.
But Dale Castro did call me delicious. He called me carnitas.
Oh man,
dude. He called me delicious.
Carnitas.
Is it? I mean. How else am I supposed to take that?
Bro, I know Jeff's probably watching. He's probably like, oh my God, man.
Matt Lerma with his not Jimenez with a man thinks I am delicious takes.
Oh,
there's Leha. Leha's here. I was wondering if Leha's going to be here. Leha calling me the Michelin man like he's skinny. like that motherfucker skinny. Tubby ass motherfucker.
Like the Michelin.
He was like, I can beat you in a race in my boots, he said.
Jimenez is tripa.
Hey,
oh my
by
God.
the way, Leha, one of the things I saw yesterday on Twitter, some guy was going off on Twitter just being complete jackass, and it was funny seeing Leha and Dyer and all of those guys go after that guy. It was great. It was great.
We got a good beef coming up here between you and Leha, man. I got money on my boy Leha for that race, man.
Good beef? Fuck, I'm carnitas, baby.
Lord,
Come
man.
on.
Here we go. Come on, Chris. You got to go ahead and put my boy over here in check, man. You got to get a race. We'll have a race. We know we got a little field right here. We got a track.
A field?
Yeah, we got a track right here at Stevens High School, man.
We running towards each other,
dude.
Field.
I'll put the video out and everything. We'll have the chariots of fire.
That reminded me of when I had a 40-yard dash race with James Pledger at Sports Star. We did it in the back parking lot.
Watching too.
And that was so much fun, dude. That was so much fun. Locked On Spurs. Daniel Castro, someone will roast him for that, according to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs.
Carnitas equals pork belly. My God.
Good times.
That's why they watch this show, dude. For stuff like that.
That's it. And people think I get offended. That's so funny. Yeah, I'm a chunky dude. Okay.
Oh my
God. My weight goes up, my weight goes down. But I'm 18. I'm at the lowest I've been in 18 months, dude. And really, to be honest with you, I'd be happy to lose just 8 more pounds. And I'd be happy with where I would be at that point. I don't want to be skinny. I like having dad bod. I like being a husky dude. I just don't want to be that husky. Okay. But I'm at the lowest I've been in 18 months. I have a freaking diary of that on my.
You're fat skinny. You're fat skinny now.
Hey, cholesterol under 200, baby. Blood pressure where it needs to be.
That's how you get your women, showing them what you. Hey, my blood pressure's low.
Cholesterol.
Low cholesterol.
My LDL 181. 181.
Oh,
are we going to talk about sports at any point? Let's talk about the Spurs. Okay,
oh man, let's talk about the Spurs.
Yeah, the Spurs last night lost 106-98 to the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies are 11-22 on the year. Spurs have dropped to 5-28. Remember that the Spurs started the year 3-2.
They were actually technically undefeated to start the year.
True. We all were. But the Spurs have lost 26 out of 28 games. And if I'm not mistaken, the 2 wins that the Spurs have had since November 2nd in the last 2 months were against a depleted Lakers team who rested one of their star players. And they beat a Portland team that rested their 3 best players. So the Spurs have not beaten a good team that is that is fully healthy, fully on the court since like October. And it's kind of crazy that that's the case. But last night, Victor Wembanyama, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 blocks. He did play 26 minutes. And the thing about that is that Wemby has a minutes restriction of 24. And he kind of got pissed off about that, apparently. Got frustrated about that. And as Tom Orsborn from the San Antonio Express News reported, with just under 2 minutes to go in the game, he reinserted himself back into the lineup without the permission of his medical team, without the permission of Pop. He goes out there, gets a dunk. Pop immediately pulls him out. And you can sense that there's frustration going on with Wemby because Wemby says he wants to play. Wemby says he wants to be on the court more, but there have been some weird things going on. They're trying to protect his ankles. He did step on the ball boy over there in Dallas a couple of weeks ago.
What a freaking odd injury, dude.
It was an odd injury. So, Pop is out here saying, look, we're trying to do this for your best interest, for your safety. Dude, Wemby, about a week or two, was close to having a quadruple double. He was on track to have one had he played 34, 35 minutes, but they played him only 24. And he had, 20 some odd plus points. He had like 7 blocks. He had like 7 assists and 7 rebounds. He was on track for a quadruple double, which very rarely happens in the NBA. It's only happened a handful of times. Alvin Robertson had one back in the day. I believe David Robinson did too. But Tom Orsborn, if you can go back to the first tweet that you have on
right
there, saying, quote, on Twitter, X, saying Wemby has grown increasingly frustrated playing under a minutes restriction designed to protect his right ankle. putting him at odds with the Spurs medical and coaching staffs. Hungry for more playing time, he took matters into his own hands in Memphis by doing what? By going to the scores table and checking himself in. So there's a couple of things here. First of all, I understand the minutes restriction. It sucks. Okay. He's a big guy. I mean, he's 7'3", 7'4". And you need to understand that those types of players don't exist. Yeah. We see the stretches that he does before the game. We see what he does. But the fact of the matter is that we need to protect this guy and save him from himself. Because if he gets hurt, the Spurs medical staff is going to be blamed again. We saw that with Kawhi. This is the first time he's played an 82-game season. And it's the first time he's had to travel, because when they play in Europe, dude, Europe's the size of Texas. It's like flying from San Antonio to Houston to Dallas, whatever. And here you're flying to Seattle, you're flying to New York. It is different. But at the same time, I understand that he has that fire. I understand that he wants to get out there, and I don't blame him for wanting to play more. But the thing about it is this. Remember, before the season started, you and I talked about the fact that there were reports in France saying that this guy has a fire in him where he does not want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
I think he's done it for a couple of months. I think he's frustrated with all the losing. And I think that he just kind of just snapped yesterday. And in defiance of the medical staff and in defiance of Pop, put himself back into the game. First of all, one of the things I thought of is Pop losing control of this team? Because Pop saw a player check himself in without permission. Pop did not call his number. How many times have you seen that in Pop's 26, 27 years as head coach of this team, put himself in?
Yeah, never, dude. I've never seen
it. It never happens. And right now, you know, Pop's going to be 75 years old later on this month. Spurs are 5-28. This is the fifth losing season in a row. I think at some point, and let's go ahead and put just comments up there that are related to sports at this point.
Yeah, I'm putting Wemby.
It's our show, not their show. Okay.
Wemby is young, and everyone gets what he wants. You know, he wants to play. He has a future, and they need to check him for his own good. Spurs aren't getting jacked this year, is what they said, what Joe Gonzalez says.
So let's go ahead and go through that. It says Wemby's young, everyone wants to play, but they need to check him for his own good. Okay.
Look,
it's a terrible thing that he's in right now. Jesus Rivera saying Wemby's his own worst enemy. He needs to trust the process. Imagine players like a Luka Doncic or a Kobe Bryant, someone who has that type of mentality, being told that they're on a minutes restriction, because that's who we have. I think a lot of time people think that because he plays for the Spurs, that he's going to have a David Robinson mentality, or he's going to have a Tim Duncan mentality, or a Manu Ginobili mentality, but that's not it. Victor Wembanyama is his own man. He's a different type of player with a different type of attitude, a different type of fire.
Yeah.
He's more of a Giannis. He's more of a Kobe. He's more of a Luka than he is.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Robinson.
Wemby wants to win. That's the thing. He wants to come in. He wants to win. Everybody right now, I believe, on the Spurs squad is frustrated at the losing, you know, and they want to win. But the problem is that every time they start getting that lead, they start chipping away.
Yeah.
They just don't have the experience to win those games. They have a hard time coming from behind. And then if they garner the lead, they have an even harder time of holding that lead, especially in the fourth quarter, and finding a way to win. It's the inexperience shows itself a lot. And the only way to combat that is to what? Get more veteran leadership in here.
And that's the problem. The Spurs have no veterans. And they did it to themselves, because right now, the biggest problem the Spurs have is they cannot use inexperience and their youth to be the reason for them losing.
Yeah.
Because we heard that when the season started, right? Oh, well, we're the youngest team, and therefore we're not going to win. Well, who's the second youngest team in the NBA right now? The Oklahoma City Thunder, and they're 23-9. So, and they're only like a couple months older than the Spurs on average. So that's the thing about it is that like the Spurs have lost a lot of their excuses. And right now, when I see the Spurs as a team at a 5-28 record, I mean, a .152 winning percentage, dude, that basically means .152 that the Spurs right now are on track to win 12 games, to go 12-70.
Look at, we have Matt Lerman. He goes, here we go with the Poppy's old take, but you won't acknowledge that he's doing the team a favor by staying on board to build a new team with a solid foundation.
He's not.
Before passing the torch.
He's not. He's overstaying his welcome. This is not a lame take. It may sound like an old take from me because I was the first one to say it. Everyone at San Antonio Sportscast, for example, thought I was an idiot for a year or 2 years ago saying Pop needs to go. He is not a guy for a rebuild. Not a passing of the torch. Who's he passing the torch to? There's nobody on the assistant coaching staff right now that I want him to pass the torch to. You look at that record 5-28. Tell me this. Becky Hammond's the coach of this team. They 5-28, or are they better?
I think they'd be better than 5 wins.
Ime Udoka, head coach of this team. Better or worse?
Better. Better than 5 wins.
You can go down the family tree of Popovich. Steve Kerr was the head coach of the Spurs.
Hey,
they better
Atwater,
than 5-28.
That's a
Dave Atwater coming out and saying Pop is the new Belichick. And Belichick is on the hot seat right now. The whole thing about In Pop We Trust is it flies in the face of reality of what we see right now. We're seeing a team that's 5-28 that has a generational player in Victor Wembanyama. Dude, if Victor Wembanyama had gone to the Houston Rockets, who right now are 16-15 without him, the Rockets would be what, 22-10?
Rockets they'd be contending right now, at least, moving up there in the Western Conference standings too, possibly be flirting with the play-in game.
There is no foundation that the Spurs have. The Spurs don't have a foundation. You cannot say that you have a foundation and be a 5-28 team. Who on the Spurs roster is a foundational piece? Victor Wembanyama, and that is it.
I don't know, man. I'd have to say Victor and Vassell.
I like Vassell. Vassell is checked out, man. He puts up his stats. Don't get me wrong. He'll give you 20 points. He'll get you 5 assists and 5 rebounds. But he ain't hustling the way that he normally did.
Well, you know what? That's what I'm saying. Losing takes a toll on everybody. It's hard to keep losing and to stay positive and have that positive mindset when you're out there.
Right.
At some point, you start feeding into this nonsense and you get tired, you get lackadaisical, and you just say, fuck it. Tired of it.
The respect that I'm getting for a player this year that I doubted in the past is actually Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson actually seems to have heart more than everybody else on that team that is quote unquote a veteran. Keldon Johnson is trying his hardest every single day, and it may not always work. There'll be some games when he throws up 18 to 20 shots and you're like, why the hell are you doing that? But at least he's showing fire and heart. So if you want to keep Keldon, fine. Sohan is Sohan. Gave him a new nickname over the Christmas break. He's just the Enigma. He's the Enigma. And people are trying to tell me, like, for so long that, it's going to be the next Draymond Green, which I don't see. But if you were to position it this way, how about not Draymond Green? How about Sean Marion?
Oh, man.
Well, first of all, Sean Marion was somebody who improved his three-point shooting, had an ugly shot in an ugly form.
But it went in.
But it went in, and defensively, he played better. I would much rather see at this point Sohan shoot 3-pointers and 2-pointers. Dude, his stat line is ridiculous. How do you go from a 24% 3-point shooter to 38? And how do you go from a 2-point shooter of 52% to 44? The Enigma.
Yeah.
How is that even possible? But it is what it is. And he's been playing out of position. He's going back into the forward role. And some days he seems comfortable and confident. You get one game comfortable and confident. It's like, man, we might have something here. And then you get 4 or 5 games in a row where it's just like, what are you doing out there?
Yeah, the same thing.
How
is
are you a
happening.
forward and getting 2 rebounds in 26 minutes?
Yeah, the same thing's happening with a lot of the Spurs younger squad. You
Yeah.
know, they're just what they lack is they lack consistency. There's been a lot of inconsistency across the board. It could be having to do with lineup changes and all these weird lineups that Coach Pop is putting out there.
Mhm.
I mean, at some point, Pop just needs to go ahead and pick a lineup and say, this is what I think is going to be conducive to us having the best chance of winning moving forward.
Right.
I don't give a damn about evening the odds as far as the starting five and the bench. This is what's going to give us the best opportunity to win games. Fuck it. We're just going to run with this squad. And if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. But at least put out the best production that you can to give yourself a better chance of winning. That has yet to happen. You know, he keeps messing with the lineups. Fans are saying, why is Julian Champagny, you know, in the starting lineup?
I don't mind him. I'll be honest with you.
Spurs fans are just questioning everything at this point, you know?
There is no winning combination of the Spurs roster. There really isn't, because everybody has something going on. Malachi Branham can't guard me on the court, dude. I mean, he can knock down some shots, but he can't guard me. Julian Champagny has a size problem. He's not as tall as he should be for what he's trying to do. City Sissoko is still too green. Zach Collins is inconsistent. Devontae Graham is probably a decent player, but we don't see him very often. Keldon Johnson, I like the fire, but he's probably undersized for what he does. Trey Jones is undersized for what he does. Doug McDermott's getting older. Osman's probably the one that is probably legit. Sohan, Enigma. Vassell, not trying. Blake Wesley, still too green. Frustrated Victor Wembanyama. Dude, just blow up the team, man. There's no foundational pieces here. There's none.
I mean, there's something's definitely amiss here. I mean, Spurs fans, even myself, you know, we get tired of the losing, and it just keeps on going. It seems like this year has gotten worse, which you would think it would have gotten better, but
right. So the Spurs have potentially 3 first-round draft picks this year, potentially. But that's not going to happen. In fact, it might only be 1. Okay, because the Spurs have their own. But in 2024, the Spurs also have a draft pick that belongs to the Charlotte Hornets, but it's top 14 protected. Charlotte's one of the worst teams in the league. So it's not going to happen this year. So it gets pushed to 2025. And if it's top 14 protected again next year, which it is, it turns into a second rounder. So that just, you know, to quote Shawshank Redemption, you know, up and vanishes like a fart in the wind. The Spurs also have Toronto's top 6 protected first rounder this year.
Yeah.
Top 6 protected, right? Toronto has the 7th worst record in the NBA, and they just traded OG Anunoby. Okay, now they got RJ Barrett. They got some decent players in return, but now they're rebuilding, right? And there's, you know, some debate as to whether Pascal Siakam is going to be traded from Toronto. So we might not even get that pick, which means next year, the Spurs might have the ability to have up to 5 first rounders because we have our own. We would have Toronto's top 6 protected pick again. We would have Chicago's, I believe, top 10 protected pick next year. And we'd have the Hawks unprotected. And we'd have Charlotte's top 14 protected. So the Spurs might have 5 next year. Could have 1 this year, maybe 2. Next year could have 3, could have 4, could have 5. It's just crazy. And all this is telling me is that the Spurs are going to get younger. And are the Spurs going to actually develop a team around some solid veterans? Because Wemby needs to have that. Dude, there was a story that came out a couple of weeks ago, San Antonio Express News. I believe Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 was talking about it as well, about how the Spurs are Pop is showing Wemby videos of certain players because there's no veterans on the team. So he's showing him like YouTube clips of like Kevin McHale and Hakeem Olajuwon and players like that. And I thought to myself, dude, he's busting. He's doing a YouTube tutorial because he doesn't have the players on the roster.
Yeah.
I don't trust in Pop anymore, and I haven't for quite some time. Tavares says should have traded for Quickly, who did go to Toronto. The problem with Quickly and those trades, there's nobody that would want any of the Spurs players that are not named Wemby. People would look at Sohan and go, ooh, People would go and look at Keldon and go, oh, he's undersized.
Yeah.
Probably Vassell. No one's going to trade for Doug McDermott and give us a first rounder. No one's going to trade us for a first rounder for Shetty. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Redbird's Junkie says, blow this team up. Tell us more. Sincerely, the Silver Dancers. Hey, we're going to have Carolina Teague on in a few minutes. But before we get to Carolina Teague, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys. They got gifted that game against the Detroit Lions, because imagine if they had lost to the Lions, the narrative that would have gone on about the Cowboys losing 3 straight to playoff bound teams, because they lost to Buffalo on the road. They lost to Miami on the road. They could have lost to Detroit at home. Lots of things went down, right? First of all, the head coach of the Detroit Lions should have just kicked it at that point to tie the game, send it to overtime.
Go for the win.
Right. Even from the 7-yard line. That's hubris. That's being stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's that. But right now, I'm taking a look at the Cowboys. And right now, they have the ability, if they win Sunday, 3:25 kickoff against the Washington Commanders, they could get the 2 seed, which means they can have 2 home games. Win those home games. And this is a team that hasn't lost at home in like 2 years. You win those games, you're in the NFC Championship game, potentially on the road against San Francisco. So, real fast, Joe, do you believe in the Dallas Cowboys?
Hell fucking no. What did they show you this last game against Detroit and the game prior against Miami and then the game prior against the Bills? They have a hard time beating teams with the winning record, and that even goes back to looking at what happened with the Seattle Seahawks too, right? The Seattle Seahawks
played them tough.
They played them tough. They have a good defense, credit to Pete Carroll. He's doing a great job with them. But the Cowboys found a way to win the game. Okay, they won that game. Cool. But again, when they're looking at teams with winning records, teams that play good defense, great defense, 49ers, case in point, a good, well-balanced team, they're one of the favorites to go to the Super Bowl. They went ahead and just dismantled the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
They just tore them a new asshole, basically, and they embarrassed them. It was an embarrassing beatdown, dude. And the Cowboys just, it's one of those games. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Every time you're pushed by a team with the winning record, you always wind up shitting the bed. I think what's going to happen with the Cowboys again, they could go ahead. They control their own fate. They could beat the Commanders, but that's also a trap game. Let's see if everybody plays for the Cowboys. Are they going to wind up sitting people and be like, you know what? Let's see what the Eagles can do. Maybe we can go ahead and have the Eagles lose the game and we win. I don't know what's going to happen there. But if the Cowboys get that second seat, they get a first-round bye, right?
They don't. Not anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, then that means that they're going to be playing. They're hosting at home.
They play a wildcard game.
Okay, they'll be hosting at home, which helps them, right? But nonetheless, man, this team, to me, they just don't have what it takes to win the big game. And it's not a knock on the other players. It all falls on the hands of one Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott.
MVP Prescott?
Dude, that needs to stop. He's had a good season. But if you want to be considered for MVP, shouldn't you shine in the biggest moments?
And that's the thing. Okay, a couple of things about this. I'd like to piggyback off of you on. First of all, the Cowboys are the only team in the NFL right now who are undefeated at home, 8-0. Right, so if they host 2 playoff games, they should win those home games because they are a different team at home than they are on the road. Right now, the Cowboys are 8-0 at home, 3-5. Think about that. They are 3-5 on the road. No other playoff team in the NFC has a losing road record right now. 3-5 on the road. So I was thinking about it. Who do the Cowboys play this weekend? They play the Washington Commanders. Cowboys favored by 13.5 points, but should they be favored by 13.5? Because the Cowboys are going on the road, and we know that they suck on the road. We know the Cowboys suck on grass. They're taking on the Commanders, who play on grass. But beyond all that, I was taking a look at the temperature for Sunday's game, 3:25 kickoff. It is going to be 37 degrees, and by the way, it would have sleeted the day before. So the Cowboys are going to be playing on an icy field Sunday on grass in 37-degree weather. I'm not saying that the Commanders are a better team, but what I'm saying is that I would not be shocked if the Cowboys lay an egg on Sunday. I think all these Cowboy fans are looking at it going, the Commanders suck, but the Cowboys suck on the road. The Cowboys suck on grass. It's 37 degrees, and it's a wet, icy field. This might be a closer game than most people think. And oh, by the way, what happened to Tony Pollard? Cowboys can't run. And when you're on a wet, grassy field in 37-degree weather, it's not about passing the ball. It's about running the ball. And they can't run. So I'm getting, on behalf of Cowboy fans, a little worried. A little worried.
Oh, man, look at this. Jesus Rivera, your son. Dak is beating all over QBs and stats. Joe's hating. I mean, you can give me stats all you want.
Well, you know what? I even have that on notes. So let me get your comment on this,
me,
right?
I mean,
by the way, it's a according to MGM Grand and DraftKings and Caesar Sportsbook, they believe Lamar Jackson is going to win the MVP. It's not even close.
It's not close.
It's
man.
negative 10,000 is the odds. Dak Prescott's like 18-1 odds in some of these sites. But here's the thing about it. Dak right now, 68% accuracy. Lamar Jackson, 67. Dak, 4,200 yards passing. Lamar, just under 3,700. Dak, 32 touchdowns thrown. Lamar, 24. Dak, 8 interceptions. Lamar, 7. So you look at that and you go, okay, Dak has a higher completion percentage. Dak has thrown for almost 600 more yards. Dak has 8 more touchdowns thrown, just 1 more interception. So a lot of people are on social media going, well, why is Dak not considered to be the favorite? Well, a couple of things. Lamar Jackson's also rushed for 821 yards and has 5 touchdowns on the ground, right? Dak has only rushed for 200. But the thing about it is this. The Ravens are on a 6-game winning streak at the end of the year, and the Ravens beat the Niners. The Ravens beat the Dolphins, and they beat the living shit out of the Detroit Lions. So the same teams. So what did the Cowboys do? They lost to the Niners. They lost to Miami, and they were gifted that game against Detroit. Okay, and let's say that gift didn't happen. They barely beat Detroit. So if you take a look at it, Lamar Jackson's beating winning teams.
Yeah. I'm going to check on our girl, Carolina, here, see if she's able to get in here. So,
Tex-Mex Frank reaches out to us on YouTube and says, Puro pinche Cowboys win or lose. Part of the enjoyment of watching the game is not knowing what's going to happen. Cowboy fans not scared. I enjoy you fellas. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Tex-Mex Frank. Joe Gonzalez says Cowboys will be in the tournament in the 2 spot. Hopefully they can go on a run. If they lose, then they lose. Well, let's talk about who the Cowboys could play because as RJ Ochoa from Blogging the Boys pointed out early today, the Cowboys have 7 teams that they could conceivably play in the first round of the playoffs. But I did put a poll out there about the 4 teams that are most likely the Cowboys to play. So the Cowboys are most likely to play either the Rams, the Packers, the Seahawks, or the Saints. And I asked the question, what is the toughest game the Cowboys could get in the first round? Because in years past, the top 2 teams in the conference would get a bye.
no.
But right now, what they did is they added a 7th team, a new wild card, and they stopped giving the number 2 seed a bye. So the 2 is going to play the 7. And right now, out of all the Cowboy fans who reached out to me on Twitter and responded to my poll, 49% are most afraid of the Rams, 33% most afraid of the Seahawks, 16% the Packers, and only 2% the Saints. If my Saints made it to the wild card, which they have a chance, they will lose to the Cowboys. The thing is that the Cowboys will get beaten up in the process. The Saints are bullies on the field.
Yeah.
So it's not that I think that my Saints would win. I think the Cowboys would lose an offensive lineman. I think the Cowboys would lose a receiver because Saints play bully ball defensively. Saints have a very, very, very tough defense.
Dak be running for his life, man.
He would be. But let's take a look at some of these teams here. So people say that they're afraid of the Rams. Well, the Rams are 9-7, have won 3 in a row. They have a quarterback that has won the Super Bowl before in Matthew Stafford. You have Cooper Kupp. They've won 6 out of 7. The only game that they've lost in that stretch was to the Ravens on the road, and it was 37-31. They've got a road game against the Niners to end the season, so that could be a loss. Or maybe the Niners start resting their players. We don't know. But I can see why Cowboy fans would be a little bit afraid of the Rams. They also play in a stadium very similar to Jerry World. Now, others have reached out to us saying that Green Bay is a team that freaks them out. Green Bay at 8-8. Jordan Love at quarterback, who's kind of figuring it out. You know, he struggled early in the year because there was a time when they lost 4 in a row. They had lost 5 out of 6, but they've turned it around the last few weeks. They've won 5 out of 7, beating the Lions and the Chiefs, beating the Vikings as well. They finished the season against the Bears. I think I agree that the Rams are probably the team that the Cowboys should not want to play.
Uh-oh. We got somebody joining us right now, so give me a second to transition.
I see her face.
Yeah.
I see her face. By the way, we're going to go till about 11:15, 11:20 or so, and there she is, Carolina
Let's see if I can
Teague.
bring her in here.
Hey.
You can follow her on all the social media platforms. I follow her on Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter. We're going to try to bring you on. But Carolina Teague, how are you doing? We do hear you for right now. Is she on?
Yeah, she's on.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. CT, how you doing?
I'm good. I got no complaints. I just got my work meeting, guys. So sorry I'm late, but I was at work. So I had a work meeting.
worries.
We were talking about true crime, so it kind of ran over our time.
So Mike has a lot to pick with you, man.
Oh yeah, I'm going to get to that in a minute. But let's talk about we're talking about the Cowboys right now. Cowboys, there are 7 teams that conceivably they could play in the first round. But I was asking the question, which would be the hardest out? Like, it's like, oh crap, we got them in the first round. That would be the Rams, the Packers, the Saints, or the Seahawks. Which one do you think is the hardest out if that the Cowboys should be like, man, we don't want to play that team in the first round?
The Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rams.
The Rams are a copy of the Cowboys in many ways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the Packers, you know, I'm never going to be a fan of theirs, nor would I ever say, but they've also relatively played in a much weaker division. But the Rams have had a lot of flashes where we can see that there's a possibility that they could beat a team, or they could possibly beat the Cowboys. So I would say the hardest one would be the Rams.
Very cool. Very cool. We were just talking about the fact that the weather Sunday in Washington, D.C. with the Cowboys, who have a 3-5 road record, go to Washington, D.C. Cowboys favored by 13 points. It's going to be about 37, 38 degrees at kickoff. It's going to be icy the day before, 65% chance of sleet the day before. This is a Cowboys team that plays bad on the road. They're going to be on an icy field, near freezing temperatures. I know they're playing a crappy team, but should they be worried? And they're playing on grass on top of it all. Should they be worried going into this game? Or do you simply think they're going to go in there and take care of business?
I think they're still going to take care of business. I mean, the weather conditions obviously play a factor, but for me, like I was in bad weather conditions when I went to Chicago recently, and I went to my first Bears game, and I was in 28-degree weather. And when you're in there, it's like about 21 degrees. It wasn't necessarily icy, but the teams, like, they warm up and they'll be fine. It's kind of like a normal. I mean, I'm not an NFL player, but you kind of warm up and you get used to where you're at. So I think they'll be okay.
All right. We're joined by Carolina Teague. She's the host of League of Her Own podcast. She's also with RCW Wrestling as well. She does a fantastic job with all the things that she does. And she's also been someone who has been with me on podcasts and radio shows for the past few years or so. I love me some Carolina Teague. Now, let me ask you this question real fast, because we like talking to you not only about sports. Don't get me wrong. We can have sports conversations whenever, but I like bringing you on for the pop culture. I like bringing you on for the nostalgic stuff and things like that. I was noticing on your podcast yesterday, you were talking about the beef involving Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Kimmel. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jimmy Kimmel has gone after Aaron Rodgers in the past before on his show, called him an idiot because Rodgers is anti-vax and things like that.
Right.
But beyond all that, there's going to be that Jeffrey Epstein list that's going to be revealed sometime this month, maybe even as early as today. And explain what Rogers did on the Pat McAfee show.
Well, it's not necessarily what Rogers did, it's what Jimmy Kimmel started. So essentially, Aaron Rodgers had made a comment stating that he was waiting on Jeffrey Epstein's client list. Jimmy Kimmel made a joke about it and said, his tinfoil hat is on. And, why is he like basically making fun of him waiting for this client list to come out? And if you really think about it, like, what's so funny about people wanting to get to the bottom of the truth, which is who was on Jeffrey Epstein's client list? This is somebody who allegedly had something called Pleasure Island, where he would take underage girls and they would sexually assault them. So for Aaron Rodgers to be concerned about that is, yes, it is conspiracy theorists like myself. I am like, I hate Aaron Rodgers as a player and as a person, but I can relate to him in a sense where we're sort of conspiracy theorists in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So he was making fun of him for that. Aaron Rodgers comes back around and says, Jimmy Kimmel, you might be on the list, or he, says something towards a joke towards Jimmy Kimmel to kind of clap back. And then Jimmy can't seem to take a joke. He was like, I will sue you, which is understandable, because when you're a man and you're getting played with about potentially being somebody who is on the client list and should be investigated for these crimes, I understand why you would get really upset and defend yourself. But at the same time, why are you making jokes about people who are trying to get to the bottom of this list? Why is Hollywood gaslighting everybody who wants to see who the names are that were on Jeffrey Epstein's client list? Because we would like to know, why has nobody been prosecuted? How come nobody's been charged? And how come nothing has happened to anybody who was on that island? There's so, like, even with Prince Andrew, there is somebody who
get away with everything.
Exactly, but still, it's like, okay, so you're gonna gaslight us, the people who are concerned, and you're not gonna try to get to the bottom of it and maybe make fun of the people who could have been on the island. Like, why are your jokes going in that direction?
So Jimmy Kimmel's response on Twitter says, quote, "Dear asshole, for the record, I've not met, flown with, visited, or had any contact whatsoever with Epstein, nor will you find my name on any of the lists other than the clearly phony nonsense that soft-brain wackos like yourself can't seem to distinguish from reality. Your reckless words put my family in danger. Keep it up. We'll debate the facts further in court at Aaron Rodgers 12.
Right, and it's very he went full blown Karen on him, but at the same time, and I don't like Aaron Rodgers. Like, trust me, he just also said on the Pat McAfee show that talking about the Bears, that us playing the Packers is going to be our Super Bowl, and if we can't beat them, then do we really have a rivalry with the Packers? And he said, if they can't beat us, and mind you, he's on the Jets now. So why are you saying the word us as if you're still a Packer? You're not a Packer anymore, Aaron Rodgers. You are a Jet now. So I don't know why you're concerned about the Bears business. I don't like Aaron Rodgers just like the rest of us, but I do agree with him in a sense where why I like that he is a big person and he's in sports and he's bringing attention. Where is the damn list?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I'm looking at an article right now from the New York Post talking about the fact that they've been feuding with each other in public since 2021. A lot of it started with Kimmel going after Rodgers for not being vaccinated and for conspiracy theories that he was kind of posting around that time. I think the problem is that, like, Jimmy Kimmel's a comedian, and comedians make jokes. And when a comedian makes a joke, it comes off a certain way because it's to be expected. Aaron Rodgers was not making a joke. Aaron Rodgers was being a dick. Those are the two different things. Because Aaron Rodgers is not known for comedy. Okay, Aaron Rodgers is known for being a narcissist. So that is the difference between it all, because Aaron Rodgers is talking about it as though it's fact, whereas Jimmy Kimmel has people clapping and laughing behind him because everyone knows that he's saying jokes.
But Jimmy Kimmel is a dick at times when he's doing his comedy.
Okay.
So it's like this, man. If you can't take it, then don't be dishing it out. You know, and Aaron Rodgers, honestly, I think he's just having fun with Jimmy Kimmel.
Well, Mike Jones reaches out to us on our YouTube stream and says, especially with everything going on with Diddy, can't blame Kimmel, right? Because Diddy is someone who was accused of, I guess you can say, grooming girls and leading to assaults and things like that. And he says he didn't happen, but he paid her off real fast, right?
Oh yeah.
It's amazing how that happens. It's interesting, but another pop culture topic here. Christina Aguilera. Don't know if you saw the story on TMZ.com. She began her residency yesterday. Real fast, we have a comment coming in from
the Drew Show
with the $5 tip, my man.
Thank you, Drew.
Saying Jimmy Kimmel sucks. He's no comedian. Wears too much makeup. Looks like a ventriloquist doll. Sometimes does blackface. Hate Aaron. He's a MVP quarterback.
Hey, they put a picture of him out there in the blackface in one of his skits.
Yeah, from
that's in poor taste, man.
That was from the Man Show, right? From with Adam Carolla back in the day.
Yeah,
dude, that was a crazy show back in the late '90s, early 2000s. That was crazy.
Thank you, and thank you for the tip, Drew. And I hate Aaron. He's an MVP quarterback. I can hate him. I'm a Bears fan. He rags on us all the time. Just because you're an MVP quarterback doesn't mean you can disrespect the hell out of the team that we have. I have yet to see Justin Fields go out of his way to drag the Packers and disrespect him the way that Aaron Rodgers has. So Justin Fields is by far way more classier and way less douchey than Aaron Rodgers will ever be.
Very nice. Very nice. We're talking to Carolina Teague of a League of Her Own podcast. Good friend of mine, good friend of ours, good friend of the show. Here's the thing. We were talking about pop culture. If you can go on to TMZ.com real fast, there's some photos of Christina Aguilera. Started her residency in Las Vegas. I love the fact that all these stars are going out there and performing there in Vegas, and you can go see them as opposed to waiting for them to come to town. But she lost 40 pounds leading up to her debut. So they're showing a photo, a before and after of 2021 and 2023. Lost 40 pounds, looks amazing. She's performing at the Venetian. And apparently the show went off really well. So a lot of different costume changes and whatnot. What are your thoughts on these celebrities who are going out there and looking like they're young again? I mean, we saw Kelly Clarkson with her daytime talk show. She went on hiatus, came back, and she was half the size. We saw Adele lose a crap ton of weight. What are your thoughts on these celebrities coming back and getting back in shape the way that they are?
She looks absolutely incredible. I just saw the pictures. She looks amazing. And she's always been scrutinized, as long as I've been listening to Christina Aguilera throughout my entire life. Her weight has always fluctuated up and down. Another person that has fluctuated weight that was a pop star was Jessica Simpson. They've always been criticized for their weight going up and down. And I don't think anybody takes into accountability that when you're in the spotlight and you're dealing with a lot of criticism and you have to maintain your composure and be the quote unquote quintessential goody pop star, that could take a toll on your mental health. And I can see why their weight was fluctuating. So to see her bounce back, take the time off and look incredible is awesome. And I notice that when you take time off social media, when you take time to yourself and you really hone down to trying to get your body and your mind right, that actually works. So, I mean, this is in the article, she's saying that that's what she did. She dedicated her time to her diet and training, and she looks absolutely amazing. So I say, you go, girl, you look incredible. And I don't think she's on Ozempic like a lot of celebrities are. This actually looks like natural. This looks like natural weight loss.
Yeah, she goes on to say that she was doing boxing, that she was doing cardio workouts, strength training, and just basically eating less crap and eating a little bit healthier. It didn't say that she had this like drastic diet. She just said a little bit healthier.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes all it takes is cutting out the soda, replacing soda with water. Leaving your
shut your mouth, Carolina. I need my Diet Coke.
I mean, no, but seriously, like sometimes it's those little changes. Like for me, what works for me is when I replace my Coke Zero with water, when I take out my flour tortillas and just eat my chicken fajitas by themselves.
Man, you know
like,
what? On a personal note, Carolina be sending me some pictures of what she's cooking for dinner sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, when you gonna invite? Look at my mango salsa. Look at the ceviche I made. I'm like, man.
I've had conversations, and I don't know if I should say these conversations about that you and I have had in the past.
No, you can. We're open. I'm open.
Well, it's nothing bad, but you've talked about the fact that you do the RCW stuff and you do the emceeing and the hosting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you've told me before, you're like, I've got an event, I've got to look my best, I've got to get my body rocking and all that stuff. And you talk about how you limit carbs for a period of time. It's almost like you're a boxer. You got to get your weight. You got to show up on fight night with your weight. And it's funny. And I've seen you transform yourself over 2 weeks. It's not Ozempic or whatever they call that crap.
Hard work.
Yeah.
You really just cut it out. And dude, for me, my panza goes from third trimester to second trimester to first trimester, depending on the amount of rice that I eat, dude.
Man.
If I eat rice, dude, if I go to a Chinese restaurant, I'm gonna be bloated for like a whole week, man.
Oh, it's so good though.
I just gotta lay off rice, dude. I gotta lay off rice and pasta, and I think I'll be okay. But we were talking about other celebrities like Adele, losing all that weight and all that stuff, but they still keep their pipes. They still keep their voice intact, which is amazing. But okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm glad that you brought that up, because there's been times where I've been on stage. I think I've told you guys before privately where I'm on stage at RCW or at other wrestling shows. And there was times where I was, I had weight gain for personal medical reasons. And I would be on stage and there was one time one of the wrestlers pulled out a cookie sheet to beat the crap out of someone, and he started beating somebody with the cookie sheet. So I got back in the ring to do like a ring announcement, and I was like, did you guys like seeing so-and-so pull out the cookie sheet and beat up blah, blah, blah? And somebody in the crowd said, you look like you ate the whole tray of cookies.
Holy shit.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
They yelled that to me in the crowd. And that day, I was not feeling my best. I did feel bloated. And I remember being like, oh, my God, I will never step on this stage again.
She's going to cry in the ring.
And that day, I was like, oh, my God. And I thought about it. I was like, I did eat a lot of cookies this week. Like, I was like, he's right. So I was like, it's a hard, like, stepping into the ring. Like, men will criticize you out in the crowd for how you, what you are.
Well, going back to our radio days, Carolina, we've seen all the hate that comes through in people when they're watching live, and they can be really nasty. So I get that.
Let's call up some photos of CT from her Twitter account, that she does for RCW and whatnot, because getting in shape, man, it sucks sometimes, but you really, I've seen you lose 10 pounds in 1 week, man. And it's just like, how the hell did you do that? But it's performance that you've got to go out there. You got to look your best. You got to look a certain way. And we're going onto your Twitter account right now to take a look at that.
And I had a trainer too, and she's like a bodybuilder trainer. So rice, I know you said you need to stop eating rice, but actually rice is okay. Just make sure that it's and anybody who's watching this, rice is okay. Just make sure it's no bigger than your palm. So, or I'm sorry, your knuckles. So put your knuckles in a fist like this, and this is how much rice you can eat if you want some rice.
Man, Ding Hao don't do that though, man. Ding Hao,
here we go. We're showing the picture. Carolina. There's Carolina.
I look good there.
I'm looking for other pictures that you got. Where's your other pictures?
I haven't posted that many lately. But
here's the new event that you got coming up.
Yes, that's going to be at Reality of Wrestling. It's Booker T's promotion, and that is in Texas City. We just got ranked number 14 best wrestling promotion in the globe. So it's a huge production, and we love it. But yeah, it's important to look good on camera. I totally agree. And Chris was really messing me up.
This is from your last show, League of Our Own.
Yep. Chris was really messing me up though, so I'm sure you guys can relate.
Yeah, I only had one tamale.
Wow.
I it wasn't for a diet thing. It just didn't do it for me this year, man. There have been some years where I just inhaled tamales all November and December. But Lupita's, by the way, that little Mexican restaurant by on Culebra Road by where I grew up, apparently they have these tamales that they serve, like 2 or 3 tamales for like a plate. but then they put the enchilada gravy on top and then the cheese.
Mm.
Dude, enchilada tamales? Are you kidding me? That's amazing.
Wow. You know what? That sounds like something. It's like some Blanco Cafe stuff. Now you want me? Yeah. I love Blanco Cafe. Now I want to go.
So I called you last night, Carolina, and I was giving you shit. I was giving you shit because we were catching up. I hadn't talked to you since before Christmas. And I was telling you that I was watching all of these photos and posts that you're making on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. And I'm in the process of a divorce right now, right? And I gave you shit yesterday. I said, there's a second Carolina Teague. What the hell? You never told me you had a sister. And then you're posting photos of you going out and about, and I'm like, she's hot, she's hot, she's hot, she's hot, and not one. Hey, you should talk to my friend, Carolina. What's going on?
My friends are taken, so why would I hook you? Why would I hook you up with someone who's taken? And also, you are in the process of a divorce. You're not fully divorced, so you will not be talking to my sister until those divorce papers are signed.
You got to show the proof.
My sister is not my sister is my one sister and one brother, but my sister is not going to be your side chick, and she's not going to deal with the whirlwind in case you do in the event you do patch things up. We don't know, because that's what men usually say to women. Oh, I'm going through a divorce. Sometimes that's a lie. So until I'm your little sister. So until I see those divorce papers with the signature on them, you will not be coming for my sister.
Joe, have you seen her sister?
I think I've seen some pictures of her sister before.
They're like identical twins.
Yeah.
I was like, there's two of them?
There's similarities there, yeah.
People say we look alike. I don't think we look alike, but everybody who doesn't know us, personally, they say we look a lot alike. Yeah.
You do look a lot alike.
Yeah.
You do. Can we get
my sister's beautiful. She's beautiful. She's
she is on cam.
Oh, okay.
She's 30,
okay, there
she's
you go.
30 years old, but she's not going to be dating a man who is in the process of a divorce.
Oh, wait, 30. She's 30, you said? Okay, wait.
She's 30.
Half plus 7 rule on 46.
Oh, man.
Half of that's 23 plus 7, 30. Boom, she counts.
You nailed it.
Hey, I got to get your opinion here, Carolina. I think you've seen some of the college bowl games that were, on TV recently here. Anything surprise you out of that? Washington upsetting, or not upsetting, but beating UT, the Longhorns. To me, that was a game that I was kind of scared about, because I thought Washington had what it takes to beat the Longhorns, and sure enough, they did. And Michigan's big win over Alabama, that was a good one. I was actually watching that game while I was flying back from Florida. I was in the air, like 30,000 feet in the air, and I'm watching the game, so it was a good game. I enjoyed it. But anything surprise you?
No, honestly, before the Michigan game, I predicted that Michigan was going to win. So when Alabama came back in the second half, when Michigan came back in the second half, and they went into OT, I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. My husband, he bet on Alabama, and I said, make sure you go for Michigan. And Alabama had the lead, and I was like, you should have went for Michigan. And then he was pretty pissed off at me when Michigan ended up winning. He lost all his money. So he was like, why did you keep saying Michigan was going to win? I was like, I just had a feeling Michigan was going to win.
Yeah,
Jim Harbaugh is a great coach, and I know he's trying to go to the NFL. So, and then also UT, that was an incredible game.
That was a great game.
Yeah, I up until the last second, I was like, UT might have a chance.
And that was a crazy thing, because Washington was so much better, so much more disciplined in that game. And UT still had one chance or 4 chances of doing it, man. 4 chances of it. Drew reaches out, $2 tip. Thank you so much. Cha-ching. Washington is destroying Michigan. Bet the over, he says.
Wow.
I agree, man. Penix was playing out of his mind.
Dude, Washington's legit, man.
Or Penix.
I'm going to take him up on that bet. And if I lose money, the first person I'm coming for is the Drew Show.
People reaching out to us saying that I was sounding thirsty and talking to you.
No, I don't think you sound thirsty. I don't think you sound thirsty. I just think you sound like a man who is looking for love all over again.
Look at Bias. Bias has got me laughing, dude. He puts thirsty Mike, and then his next comment, what about me, CT?
Now scroll up. Someone says Mike is on demon time.
Oh,
Dude,
my God.
That was all yesterday on
bro.
Twitter saying that I was turning into demon Mike. That was like a new thing, and I kind of dig it. to be honest with you, people are asking if you're gonna hook me up with your brother.
Oh,
Jesus
God.
I was going to ask Jimenez real quick.
Yeah.
You're in the process of a divorce. Have you actually been on a date with another woman? I really want to know.
I cannot.
Or can you
confirm
not
nor
say that?
deny. I cannot
Okay.
confirm nor deny. It's just it is a all in all shitty situation. Is what it is, man. Divorce sucks, dude. I wouldn't wish it upon anybody. But it's just one of those things.
Man, some of these comments are wild.
They say divorce sucks, but like I always thought, like, why don't you just treat it like a normal breakup? Is it not like that? Is it different? Like,
Oh, it's not like that at all because there's so much financial untangling that needs to be done. The vehicles, the house. Then there's a question about child support. There's a question about all of that stuff, and it's just it just sucks. It just sucks. People reaching out asking the question. Mike Jones, Mike and Maddie Sky would be cute together. She's a lot more attractive than I am, so I'm going to go ahead and say that she would say no. But now lots of people reached out saying that I sounded thirsty. I apologize if I did. 30-year-old sister, huh?
30 years old. She's 30.
Interesting.
And I don't think you sound thirsty. I just think you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, period.
Yeah, like that one girl that was wearing the shirt that says I love hot dads.
I love hot dads. I'm sorry, but that wasn't it, by the way. Daniel Castro reached out saying the Blue Chews are coming in. That's right, baby.
Hey man, we gotta. They were saying that we needed a new sponsor.
Get a new sponsor. See if it works.
You could date or you could date Annie Agar. Isn't that your crush? You should try to shoot your shot with Annie. I mean, if you can shoot your shot with my sister, you can shoot your shot with Annie Agar.
Yeah,
let's just shoot for the stars.
Annie is elite. Annie is elite. Not even on my best day.
Status.
It's like, have you ever seen the movie God, what is it called? She's Out of My League.
Oh yeah.
And it basically says that you can't jump more than 2 points. So if you think that you are if you add it all together, right? Your looks, your income, all of the stuff that you have going on, right? You give yourself a number, right? It basically says that you can't go more than 2 plus 2. So an 8 can knock down a 10. A 6 can get an 8. A 4 can get a 6, and so on and so forth. By the way,
what do you think you are? What do you think you are?
I think I'm a 6 going to 7.
So you think my sister is an 8? Is that what you're trying to tell me right now?
Yeah.
You're trying to tell me that my sister is an 8?
I don't know anything else about her. I don't know the whole. I don't have the whole package. It is TBD, to be determined, because I don't know the rest of it.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to show her this clip. She's going to be pissed. She is going to be pissed.
Oh, which is good.
There
which
you
is
go.
good. Which is good because it feels like a challenge.
Oh man, look at Daniel Castro says he's a solid 2 out of 3.
Yeah, that's 2 out of 3. That's a 6.67. I like that. I like that. Thank you for the compliment there.
Man, your sister's gonna see this. It's like, there goes your shot, dude.
Yeah, you already blew your shot before you even met my sister. Like,
I wasn't even going to meet your sister. I didn't even know she existed.
I was willing to introduce you to my sister once the divorce papers were signed, like I said. But since you called her like a 5 or whatever you just did.
No, I called her a 5. I never said that.
He said he was a 6 or a 7. And he said your sister was a 5.
He said like differential 2 points. Are we going 2 back or 2 forth? No.
That's a great movie, by the way. That's a great movie. She's Out of Your League. That's a great movie. It's just basically saying that once you go past 2, you're gonna lose the girl. You're gonna lose the girl.
Oh, I forgot I finally got my first prototype in for the new merch that's coming. Y'all ready? I'm gonna show y'all what I designed here and got in the other day.
I like it.
I mean, y'all can
Wow.
see it.
Spurs jacket.
Spurs hoodie.
He's all backing up all the way to the back of the wall.
Look at check the sleeves. Check the sleeves. Got to represent the city. So I made this, and I was giving them away as Christmas gifts. You know, to my nephew. I gave some away to some family, my son in particular as well. So we got some new merch coming through the pipe too, and I'm working on a design right now that's tailored for the women. So I'm going to go ahead and share it with CT as well, so you can give me some feedback.
Yes,
Daniel Castro.
I'll try out any of your prototypes. Give me a shirt.
Daniel Castro reaching out to us on our YouTube stream saying, "Damn, he called CT's sister a 5 out of 10. Called her mid." I did not.
Can't believe you called my sister mid. I'm gonna strangle you when I see you in person.
Dude, I would not have brought her up if I thought she was mid.
My sister is beautiful. You guys, I already tagged her on when Jimenez was promoting it. I tagged my sister. Just go to her page. Her name is This Is Marina with 2 A's on Twitter. Click media. You'll see her pictures. My sister's very pretty. And for him to call my sister a 5 is just the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen.
This is so Twitter.
You baited me into this.
Whoa. What's her Twitter handle?
This is Marina with 2 A's.
This is so Twitter. I say one thing and everyone says I said the exact opposite. Screw all of you guys.
You need to apologize.
I apologize for saying that you might be an 8 is what I'm saying. Is what I'm saying. Not all girls are 10. Not all girls are 10s. Okay, one of my favorite things to follow on TikTok is a page called Hoemath. Hoemath.
Oh my God.
Dude, go on TikTok, follow Hoemath. It's this one guy that tries to explain why dating sucks. And what he basically says is that he thinks that guys are very honest about themselves. Some guys, have a bell chart that says, I'm a 5, I'm a 6, I'm a 7, I'm an 8, and they're being realistic about it all.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to women, they overinflate their numbers so much. There are girls who's like, I'm a 10. And they're like, yeah, fucking close to a 10. And then what ends up happening is that they think that I think the thing is that the whole math basically says that it should align, and it should align by 1 or 2 points, just like that movie said, but he does it in a very scientific way.
You know what?
Her sister looks kind of like Carolina a little bit.
What's her at?
This is go to the page, Joe. Show everybody my sister if you can. It's This Is Marina, ThisIsMarina. That's my sister. This is Marina with 2 A's at the end. And when I went to I thought I was a pretty girl until I went to Puerto Rico and I saw all these beautiful women, and I was like, oh my God, on a global scale, I'm like a 2 or a 3. So so many beautiful women all across the world. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That reminds me of those TikToks that I see where, girls who move from Florida to like Iowa, they're like, I'm a 6 in Florida, but I'm a 9 in Iowa.
Exactly. It just depends where you're at. Okay.
All right, Carolina, we're going to show her.
Take me. Yeah. So, okay. Show my sister, please. Go to click media. Thank you. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Oh, that's her, but she has videos if you keep scrolling.
So I was like, there's
a video there.
Oh, well, it's a 1 second video, but I'll take it.
Oh, Mike, you want me to show the 1 second video? There you go. She kind of looks like Carolina. I got to be honest.
It's a lot like Carolina.
Yeah. I can see the resemblance there. I can see it.
Oh, there's 2 of them? Is what I said.
There's 2 of them. Oh my God. Well, you can go ahead and see her Twitter handle here. This is Marina with 2 A's on the side.
She has 781 followers. It'll be like 850 by the end of this podcast.
Like I said, if you want to find it, it's on my latest tweet where I retweet Jimenez and I tag This Is Marina. So that's how you can follow her. But shout out to my sister. I love her so much. Very cool.
Carolina.
And if you do date my sister, you are required, like Mike Jones had a great idea. Take Carolina's sister to Perry Steakhouse. You're going to take me too. Like, we're both coming.
Oh, dude. I've been seeing those videos where it's like that guy gets upset because he's going on a date and she brings the family and he goes, "We're gonna take our separate checks."
Oh my
And I don't know
God.
if you've seen our Christmas parties, but they be lit. So like, if you, we'd love to have you part of the family. I was trying to get another journalist in our city to be a part of our family to date a family friend of ours. It didn't work out, but if it would have worked out, there would have been a journalist at my a sports journalist in San Antonio.
Wait. You've narrowed it down to like 12. We'll find out who that is later on.
Hey, look at the Drew show.
What?
He went ahead and gave us a $5 tip.
I can't see.
Let me go ahead and bring it over here so you can see it. I'm sorry.
There you go. Okay, there you go. Says, thanks, Joe, for reminding me. For all you poodles in the audience who threw Freds under the bus after the lawsuit, y'all don't eat here anyway.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh yes, and Michael, what I've been up to these days, I'm doing wrestling, so I'm trying to get in shape for wrestling. I have a wrestling gig. Like Christmas really messed me up so bad because I ate everything under the moon.
You were eating some tamales.
I did eat some tamales. I ain't gonna front.
I
did. I
stay away.
They're so good. They're like they're like little snacks, but they're like very very like they feel like snacks when you're eating them. They don't even fill you up. But then before you know it, you have a dozen of tamales in your panza. It's crazy.
And all that manteca. Yeah.
More questions coming in about your sister.
Okay.
Let's see here. There was one that asked the question. Was it Tim Gonzalez who asked the question? Is it what is she really on a crazy hot scale?
What is she on a crazy / hot scale? Oh, like crazy?
There it is.
Okay, so the hot scale is 1 through 10. The crazy scale is 1 through 10. And basically the crazy hot matrix determines, are they hot enough to keep up with the crazy? To put up with the crazy?
Joe knows that I'm like he calls me a chile piquin, like a little pero picosa, which means like I'm spicy. Because I clap back and stuff sometimes, like when I'm in the mood to. But if you think that I have a smart mouth, my sister is like way worse than me. I'll just say that. My sister is very, very loving and kind and beautiful, and she has her stuff together, but she will not be afraid at all to put you in your place. If you think I'm not afraid, like she is really not afraid to put somebody in their place. So you just have to be able to put up with that, and then she might be somebody that you're interested in. But if you can't put up with that, then she's not for you.
Hey, before we let Carolina go, I got to ask you a question, CT. So you've seen what's going on with the Spurs this season, and you've seen, Spurs Twitter, and Spurs fans going at it back and forth. We've all seen what's happening on social media. How are you feeling about the team thus far in the season with them only having 5 wins? I mean, we all expected a little bit more, but be honest, give us your take. How are you feeling about the team?
I don't think they're good. I mean, I don't know what to say. I just don't. I mean, what is there to say? The record speaks for itself. 5 wins. They are. I mean, you could, and it's so crazy. I mean, I don't think it's crazy, but obviously Spurs fans do need something to talk about. The Spurs media needs something to talk about. But there's only so many ways you can pick apart how much a team sucks or how the little developments that the team is making while they're losing. It's very hard to pull content with that when you're dealing with a losing team. So this is a brutal season, and there's no way to slice anything around that. And for Wemby to sub himself in, I mean, that took a lot of nuts to sub yourself in front of Coach Pop. Coach Pop took him right back out because you don't play with Coach Pop like that. So it's just obviously there's some frustration there. They just want to win, but it's not easy. So I'm just it's a hot mess. People want Pop fired. People want Keldon gone, certain other people gone. It's a big mess is all I'm going to say.
Dude, here's the thing. I think Becky would have more than 5 wins.
And look at the Drew show. Thanks for the $5 tip, by the way, Drew. You a real one, man. He says, has to be said, all love Carolina, but Mike, she has friends who tried out for the Bad Girls reality show, and they were too bad for the show. Just saying. This is true. She told me the whole story before.
Yeah, that's true. But the Spurs people want Pop's neck. They want him fired. I think you want him fired, right, Jimenez?
Yeah, like back in 2021, I was ready for him to go, dude.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, but
Mike
I'm
Jones.
wondering, I'm wondering, like, is there just a lack of talent, or is there just a lack of they don't know what to do with this team as far as coaching is concerned?
They don't connect.
But it has to be both. It has to be both.
Mike Jones brought up a very good point, saying Pop needs to be fired just like Belichick at the end of the season. LaMarcus Aldridge's interview with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes was interesting last week, and he was talking about how Kawhi Leonard, as Aldridge put it, just wanted to ball. Didn't want to talk about life. Didn't want to have wine with Pop. Just wanted to ball. And what ended up happening was Pop treated Kawhi like he treated Tim. And that's different. You know, for those of us who have kids, you can't treat one kid like the other kid. You want to treat them fair, but you can't treat them the same because they're different people. And I think what ends up happening is that right now, Pop is turning 75 this month. He is the oldest coach, not only in the NBA, but he's the oldest coach in NBA history by 4 years.
Damn.
Hubie Brown was 71 when he retired.
He was coaching.
Pop broke that record 4 years ago.
Yeah, I think Hubie was coaching the Grizzlies at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think that at some point you don't connect with players anymore. That's why I think a Becky Hammon would have taken this team to a higher level. Not because Becky's a better coach or because she is better than Pop, quote unquote, as a coach, but because she can maybe reach them better. She can level and identify better with a Jeremy Sohan, with a Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Victor Wembanyama. That's my thing. It's not because I think Pop is a bad coach.
Yeah.
I just think he's past his prime. And it's been 5 losing seasons in a row. Haiti reaching out to us saying Becky should be the next coach. Mike Baez saying he wants Manu to be the head coach. But LaMarcus Aldridge, though, I like what he's saying right now about Wemby. LaMarcus, you know, Spurs fans 2, 3, 4 years removed from LaMarcus are suddenly showing him a lot more love than when he was actually here playing. We liked him, but we didn't love him. And it seems like we love him now. It's weird.
Yeah, man. I think he was misunderstood, I think is what it was.
Well, he also, made some statements about, having that one shot or having that one signature shot and sticking with that in clutch moments. But for this team and for Victor in particular, I think one of the main things that people should talk about a lot more is Chip England being gone. That was the shot doctor himself, and him leaving to Oklahoma. And you see Oklahoma's offensive shooting percentage went from one of the worst in the league to one of the best just by Chip England being implemented on the team. And you see the team for the Spurs, they're having offensive situational issues. And I'm wondering, is Chip England was a huge piece missing, but he was truly a key component. And I think that's also not being taken into factor as well. Coaching has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, it does. We got to start bringing things to a close.
Yeah,
man.
very nice. That is Carolina Teague. Tell us about what you're working on, where we can find you, where we can catch you, and promote yourself, girl.
At Carolina Teague _ on social media and TikTok. I'm at Carolina Teague Sports. I'm thinking about changing my handle to at Carolina Teague Sports. League of Our Own podcast is every Monday. And that's my podcast at VodPod Media. I also am thankful that you guys have me on. I have Reality of Wrestling, Booker T promotion that's going to be on January 13th in Texas City, Texas. We're already sold out. Additional seat is being added. And January 20th at River City Wrestling at Good Shepherd Activity Center. And we're already sold out there, but we do have standing seats available at the door. So we hope to see you guys there. And yeah, I'll see you guys there at RCW if you guys decide to come in San Antonio. Bye, guys.
That's my girl,
Bye,
Carolina Teague, my friend, my buddy, my sister, future sister-in-law. Hope you have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Again, those of you who are watching this, listening to this, whether it be right now live on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, or in the future when it comes to a podcast, share. Let people know what we're doing. Let them know that we're back on a daily basis. Share our content. Be a supporter of our show, and if you want to be a sponsor of our show, reach out to Joe at Two Shots Podcast. Reach out to me at MJ Acquired Taste, and we'll make something happen. But we're off and running. This was a good start to the year. I like being back in the studio. Gonna be honest with you, man. I
Hey man, trying to run everything and talk and it's like looking left and right at the same time and doing all this other stuff.
this whole setup over here, man. I mean, I was normally just looking at a little camera, and now I've got multiple monitors. I've got a keyboard. I've got these effects that I can do, these sound effects that I can do down the way.
Yeah, we're gonna program those, man, for you so you can have some drops.
Very, very, very nice. It's going to be a good year, man. 2024. It's going to be a good year for the show. Thank you for joining us today. Again, share, like, and subscribe. Hit the like button before you get off YouTube. That helps us out a bunch, man. Everybody have a great day. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. We'll be back tomorrow.
Peace, guys. We'll see y'all later.